Welcome back to The Last of Us. I know it's been a long time. Let's not relive this moment. I would have been okay not reliving it. I remembered, but thank you. 3 months later. So they're doing the jump to winter, a slightly different point in the show than in the game. Who are these people? It's one of those openings where we get to spend the first 10 minutes with a little side story.
And the gun.
Oh.
Who the hell are you?
Just someone passing through. Reach.
Okay, so this is not a side story.
Why did you shoot him?
The gun's all the way over there.
Look anything like you?
Bit.
Then I ain't seen him.
Got a girl with him.
Ellie.
Oh, what?
And Joel, you do not have a handle in this situation.
Are you telling me the truth?
Yeah?
I like her. She's got a good vibe.
What about the fireflies?
We get those in the summer.
The bugs, the people.
There are firefly people? If your brother's west of the river, he's gone.
Sounds like superstitious bullshit if you ask me.
Scared him?
You don't seriously believe them.
They've lived here a long time.
She just took a rabbit.
Put that back.
Are you okay?
Shit, are you dying?
You having a panic attack?
Okay, if you're dead, I'm fucked.
Set up fine.
Thanks, Ellie.
And the fireflies.
You never had a panic attack or anything in the game. I'd say that's actually a pretty big change. The river thing sounds like bullshit to me. I don't know. Maybe it's true, but there certainly wasn't anything like that in the game in Wyoming, and I don't know. It does seem like they were just trying to scare him to me.
Can I have some?
No.
What, just to warm up? Come on.
It actually would help you warm up a lot.
Sally Ride.
Sally fucking Ride. Best astronaut name ever.
I do really like that they kept that detail, her love of astronauts and space. She wants to go to the moon.
Right? I know, it was stupid, but I wanted to save him.
That's so sad.
Well, I reckon it's a lot more complicated than that. You gotta wake me up if that happens. You can't do things like this.
But
You gotta start trusting her, man.
I just did.
I also like that they actually went to a location that is covered in snow for real and didn't use fake snow. Fake snow is... It's just too noticeable for me. I love some of these shots. This looks awesome. Very ominous. What the fuck is that?
I'm learning how to whistle.
You know how to whistle?
Does it sound like I know how to whistle?
No.
Also pulled right from the game.
Seriously though, how the fuck do you do that? It's like, you should call it undressing. It's like undressing from the inside.
Yeah, it's true. We made it to the dam.
You're no Will Livingston.
Yeah, but who is?
Oh shit. Well, we potentially have ourselves a problem. Unless this is like Tommy and his people.
If you're infected, he will smell it and he will rip you up.
Dogs smelling for cordyceps. Interesting concept. That does mean he might freak out on Ellie though, because she is infected technically.
Now her.
Ah, shit. Look, the dog is cute, but if you gotta fuck it up, I would do it. If it means survival, I'm sorry. Okay. So the dog can only smell active cordyceps infections? Or is it just bullshit? Can the dog just not smell cordyceps at all?
What's your name?
Joel.
Okay, so this is definitely Jackson. Was that Maria? Have they, race bent the character? This is definitely Jackson, though. It looks exactly like it so far. This is kind of cool, actually. This is almost like a little preview for The Last of Us Part 2. Because this is exactly how the second game starts, in winter here in Jackson. Spoilers.
Tommy!
Aww. Yeah, they've definitely changed up like Joel's motivations a bit, because he didn't really give much of a fuck about Tommy in the game.
There's more if you need it.
They probably will.
Actually, I don't think I've ever had a proper meal. This is fucking amazing.
What's wrong with you?
What about her manners?
She was just.
Was that Dina?
Kids around here don't usually look or talk like you.
Come on, say her name. Say her name.
Well, you got a couple of 90-year-olds shitting themselves out there. They say that you leave dead bodies around?
Those are the people who tried us.
Oh, shit. Congrats.
She's too fucking funny.
Congrats.
He even says just congrats.
All this open country out here, it's a turkey shoot. I still got my 700, but I found a variable power.
Till it isn't.
This place actually fucking works.
Yep. One of the very, very few.
Joe, check it.
Collective ownership.
So, communism.
Nah, it ain't like that.
I mean, it is that.
Well, yeah, it
Literally.
is.
It's a commune. We're communists.
Yeah, quite literally, Tommy.
No way. That's our newest one. Couple months old.
Think on that one for a
Yeah,
while.
what's Shimmer?
No!
Like a shower, some new clothes.
Oh, my heart. You can't show me Shimmer when she's just a little pony.
All right.
Good then. And the kid?
I don't really want to talk about it either.
You can headshot infected from half a mile away, which is a bunch of bullshit, by the way.
Yeah, for good fucking reason. I mean, folks find out we're up here.
No, I heard.
I mean,
Wrong people might show up.
I get it, but...
Is that what I am?
We survived the only way we knew how.
I mean, you really think
Where are
there's...
other ways?
You really think there's anyone alive right now without blood on their hands?
If you knew the shit that
I don't believe that. That's kind of bullshit.
I'm gonna be a father.
Oh.
It's a few months along now.
What? That's different.
To be honest, I'm scared to death.
Wait, that complicates future events so much more now that I think
But I
about
don't
it.
know. I feel like I'd be a good dad.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Just because life stopped for you
Oh.
doesn't mean it has to stop for me.
Okay, like, regardless of that, I'm just kind of mad that you do judge Joel for those things. I'm like, again,
Be out of your hair in the morning.
you did them too, and so did every other person alive right now. Like, shut the fuck up. To be clear, I understand why he's not going to take Ellie, and I respect that decision. I just don't like the whole, I'm going to judge you, Joel. Like, especially the TV show version of Joel, he's not even that bad of a guy. Not in comparison, anyways. You know, I don't really appreciate the show constantly trying to break my heart. Oh, it's the same jacket and everything from the game. Cool.
It's super fucking purple.
Eggplant.
Yeah, shoes aren't too
I
bad.
was an assistant district attorney out of Omaha, Nebraska.
Interesting.
Now, come on. Grab your super fucking eggplant coat. The movies.
She really won me over with that one line. Thanks. Some nice boots, actually.
She's immune.
Here we go.
What? Ellie. She got infected, but she didn't get sick because I was too slow and too fucking deaf to hear him coming.
He did get you.
I've lost something. I'm failing in my sleep. It's the last thing I'll ever ask of you. I swear.
Damn.
I'll take her out at dawn.
That is a way different conversation than they had. Marie is not stupid. And yes, I did recognize the actress from that one episode on The Walking Dead where she was Michonne's best friend and betrayed her.
Is this really all they had to worry about? Boys, movies,
Ah, we're doing this scene.
deciding which shirt goes with which skirt. Because I thought
Oh.
I made this decision for your own good.
everybody I have cared for has either died or left me. Everybody fucking except for you! So don't tell me that I'd be safe with somebody else, because the truth is, I would just be more scared.
We're going our separate ways.
And hurt just as much in live action. That was word for word, like beat for beat, the same scene, even down to her like pushing him on that exact line and everything. Why do I pay to watch this service? Literally giving them money to hurt me. Like, I know how this all ends and everything, but good lord, that would be gut-wrenching if I was Ellie, you know, waiting for Joel to walk in and then it's Tommy instead. I'd be like, man, fuck this.
You deserve a choice. I still think you'd be better off with Tommy.
Let's go.
Choice made.
Okay.
Startled me. I'm kind of surprised that wasn't the end of the episode.
Nice and slow.
You gonna shoot this thing or get it pregnant? It doesn't work. It doesn't aim right. You dick.
You were saying? Oh, I love hearing this music.
Yeah, we were cool. Everybody loved contractors.
Us.
It's so cute. So we're gonna do the whole Denver, you know, university thing now?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want a sheep ranch, actually. I mean, if the deal is I can do anything.
That's the deal.
Yes, come on.
Well, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a singer.
Shut up. You gotta sing something now.
No,
Come on.
Yeah, come on.
you're already laughing.
No, I'm gonna save the fucking world, man. That's the least you can do for me.
You make a good point.
Fair enough.
Fingers crossed that it's the monkeys. Yeah, it's the monkey.
Well, the pins lead there. Maybe getting ahead of the weather. Better facilities. I don't know.
I mean, Salt Lake is still pretty cold in the winter.
Out the back.
I can't believe we're gonna do this whole situation as well as the meeting of Tommy and everything. We're not gonna do a shootout in the building. That was kind of a fun part of the game.
Joe!
Oh. Oh. Oh my god. Ow. Very different than that was in the game as well, though. I feel like he got off easy here compared to the game. You have guns, shoot at them. Thank you, Ellie.
Joe?
You are anything but safe right now, Ellie.
No, shit! I don't know where the fuck I'm going. What the fuck I'm gonna do. Joe.
I must say, some of the changes they've made to Joel's character, I feel work with the story really well. It's another fantastic episode. And this show seriously won't quit. Like, every episode is just great so far. Well, much to discuss here. This was a very long episode, and they did cover a lot of material as well. Again, I'm surprised that we did the transition into Autumn, meeting Tommy, and in this version, actually going to Jackson and having all those conversations and everything, as well as the whole University of Eastern Colorado. What was a big showdown in the game turned out to just be a super unfortunate moment in the show. But let's begin with what they've changed from the game. Immediately, this 3 months later jump is technically a change because we're sort of transitioning from what seemed like it was autumn in the first half of the show to now winter. Arbitrary change that doesn't bother me at all. I mean, again, in the game, they make a point where like the first half of the game is summer, then it jumps to autumn for a brief moment, then you jump to winter for basically everything that happens after this episode, and then, you know, the final moments are in spring. So I guess it's just a slight minor change that the seasons are a little askew. Joel and Ellie don't meet an elderly couple out in the middle of nowhere to try and find Tommy. I did like that scene though. It was very entertaining to see the completely different dynamic that those two people had. The scene by the campfire with Joel and Ellie is mostly a new scene. There's some bits of dialogue that are at least like pulled from different moments of the game that are used in this situation, but a lot of it is just kind of new dialogue and interaction between the two. And I really like this scene as well. It was a good way to establish the fact that Joel is trying to keep her at arm's length and is failing miserably at this point. Ellie can see it, anyone with eyes can see it, like this is becoming very quickly his daughter, and that really scares the shit out of him. Which also marks another pretty big change, I think, to Joel's character. Throughout this episode, he's having panic attacks and is just overwhelmed with fear and regret and guilt. And I would say in the original game, he is very much consumed with guilt and, sadness and a longing for the world before and everything. But he was very much a killing machine in that game. He did not give two single fucks. If it was the game version of Joel, there is a very good chance he would have tortured that man's wife before he showed up, regardless of how, good she might be. And he certainly never had a scene with Tommy where he is breaking down crying, saying, I'm old, I'm broken, I can't hear very well anymore, I'm gonna get her killed. That was not a thing in the game at all. But I do like the change. I feel like it humanizes the character more. It gives the audience a way to root for the character a bit more, which I think is very important considering the ending of this season, as long as they don't change it. And it adds a certain believability to it. Joel is a 50-something-year-old man in both the game and the show, and has lived an extremely rough life in these 20 years. So I think it makes more sense that even though he is, battle hardened, he knows what he's doing, he's still human and is starting to fall apart a little bit. It's all catching up with him. And I feel like that is exemplified really well in the final scene when he is, stabbed and snuck up on once again by the enemy group. Now that is twice that Ellie has saved his life in the nick of time because he got snuck up on and didn't hear someone coming, which is exactly what he was worried about and said, Tommy, you need to be the one to do this. And in many ways, he's right. But I think ultimately the real reason he didn't want to take Ellie, which is the same in the game, is he is seeing her as his daughter and it terrifies him. He's like, I can't go through the pain of losing another daughter again. I cannot do it. So he's just trying to push her away. Another big change, or not even a big change, but their initial meeting with the people of Jackson is at the dam, but again, in the game, it's at the dam. They actually go to the dam, go in it, kind of explore around it. They don't ever go to Jackson. Their home base for the next couple weeks is going to be that dam. And I was a little disappointed that we didn't get to, explore the dam that they saw. But that disappointment was quickly squashed when we actually got to go to Jackson, which you did not get to do in the first game. You only saw it from afar. And since they've changed the time that this happens, rather than it being in autumn, and now it's full-blown winter, you actually get to see Jackson the way it appears in The Last of Us Part 2 right at the start of the game. But their actual introduction to the people of Jackson with the dog being able to sniff out cordyceps, or maybe not, they never really confirmed if it could actually do that or not. And Maria being the one to meet him with Tommy not being present, that was all different. And when Tommy and Joel meet for the first time in the game, they do hug, but it's not this forlorn, I've missed you so much, brother, kind of hug that we see in the show. They also gave Maria a lot to do here, and I feel like she didn't have a whole lot to do in the first game, or really the second game for that matter. Also, the other changes I mentioned in the reaction is the character is now race bent a little bit, which they've done with a few characters already. And in the case of a fictional character, I'm like, I don't care. Touring Jackson and talking about how it's a commune and it's a communist society, that was all new. It's not pulled from either game, really. Again, all these places are things that you see in the second game, but to have it kind of explained how it all works, their government they have in place, I really enjoyed. Then, of course, there's the infamous scene from the game where the two of them have the conversation beginning with Ellie reading through the girl's diary. I would have to watch it a few more times and really compare them side by side, but I'm willing to bet that is word for word, beat for beat, the same scene as it was in the game. Again, I very distinctly remember her pushing Joel when she loses her temper, saying, you know, everyone's left me fucking except for you. And the fact that she did it at the exact same time here in the scene, it was really cool. It was very neat to see it recreated. That being said, I think I still prefer the games version of the scene. I don't think that these two actors, you know, Pedro Pascal or Bella Ramsey, did a bad job by any means. They did fantastic in the scene. But there's something about the original that just felt so real. I don't know what it was about it. It felt so natural and real. And this scene did not quite top it for me. But it was very cool to see it recreated so accurately. Also, a slight change that they made was Joel gives Ellie the choice to go with Tommy or him, whereas in the game, he just says, you're coming with me. I don't think the change really makes a difference because it's obvious that Ellie wants to go with him in both iterations of the story. So to give her the choice is, again, just saying yes in a different way. Everything that happened at the university at first was extremely close, down to the conversations they were having about him, you know, wanting to be a singer and she wants him to sing a song for her. Like, that happens at that exact moment in the game too, where they're riding on horseback through the campus. All the way down to them hearing a bunch of noises in one of the rooms only to find it's, you know, the monkeys, and they run out of there. That is where the changes start to come in though, because again, the game, being a video game, is a lot more action-packed. And before they can even go down like one floor, they're already being attacked by this enemy group. There's a lot of them. It's this huge firefight. And Joel, in a scuffle with another guy, ends up falling like 2 stories onto, what do you call those? Rebar? But yeah, he falls onto that, like impales himself completely and needs to hoist himself off of it and then still get out of the building while people are attacking. Ellie just kind of takes the lead and starts shooting and killing the people for him. Here, it's only one person that they fight against. He just has a baseball bat. It doesn't seem like anyone in that group had a gun at all. And he ends up stabbing Joel with the broken piece of the baseball bat, which gives him the, you know, same wound in the same spot. And again, for spectacle, I have to, you know, go with the games version because it's much more insane and chaotic and dramatic and everything. But the show, I think, does make it a lot more believable. Again, him getting, you know, speared through and somehow surviving that is a little less believable than this still very severe injury and in a very bad spot. But it didn't go all the way through him. It is arguably a wider wound than it was in the game. I don't know. I feel like this, again, is just a bit more believable. They're not mowing through like 20 guys to get back to the horse. They just unfortunately ran into one. And then the episode ending with him falling off the horse and her, you know, begging him to get back up, pretty much right from the game as well. And overall, I think this episode was just awesome, man. Like, this is exactly what I want from an adaptation. Not one for one all the time, because at that point, why am I even watching it? I'll just watch the original. But it also doesn't go off track. It is still sticking to the same story, most of the same emotional and character beats. Like, this is truly, from what I've seen, an adaptation done correctly. This and House of the Dragon have been some of the 2 most impressive adaptations from something else that I've seen as of late. And that gives this episode a 9.5 out of 10. Again, I just think this show is phenomenal. Like, there's almost nothing production-wise that I find to be lacking. Everything has a true sense of realism and, for lack of a better term, you know, looks very well funded. The acting is superb. The story is already kind of a winner. I mean, as long as they stick to it close enough and make some interesting changes along the way, like, they have nothing but gold right here. And so far have struck nothing but gold for me. So I'm very excited for that next one. It should be a very screwed up episode if it's what I think it is. But it should be some great television regardless. So I will see you all for that next one. And that's about it.